Hello, race fans. If you want some good racing, you go down and watch some Midnight Broadcasting Network racing series. Man, these guys got a lot going on. You got Enoch here, getting ready for these guys to start their BMS Speedway Collective 300 at Kentucky Speedway. It's gonna be a nice race tonight. Got the Xfinity cars here, and I haven't gotten a lineup yet, but you know, if you guys have been following, got a lot of great guys in here. Um, it's a lot of fun to watch. By myself tonight, so you guys are gonna have to listen to me a bit. I'll try and keep an eye on the comments. We can have little conversations ourselves too. I see some people are joining. Thanks for joining, guys. Enoch here. We're really gonna have a good time. It looks like I just got an invite, so I'll wait a few minutes to join that. But again, we got these Kentucky cars, or this Kentucky track with the Xfinity cars, that is, and pretty excited. I got a lineup here, and we'll take a look in a second. Get all these messages coming up. What's up, guys? Trying to get all this together myself, and I can kind of multitask, but we'll see how this goes. And again, it's Midnight Broadcasting Networks, BMS Speedway Collective 300 at Kentucky Speedway. If you want to get some race news, you want to be a part of some cool stuff, you head down to Speedway Collective's website, and you can be a part of fantasy leagues and get some news. It's pretty cool. Cool stuff for sure. Just give me one sec while I kind of fix my computer here so that we can get everything set for me to watch this race. But you guys just bear with me one sec. I wasn't expecting this to happen. But that's live broadcasting for you. Things happen. But let's get back here. See if I can join. Don't mind that blue screen. I'm still here with you guys. It looks like we have about 13 drivers tonight. It's a nice healthy field. Now Kentucky is it's a fun track, man. If you know what you're doing, if you practice, get your setup right, we're gonna see some guys who are real good in 1 and 2, and then some others who are real good in 3 and 4. What we're gonna try to see is who's gonna be the best in all 4 corners, right? Who's got that long run car? I know myself from experience that when you're at Kentucky, there can be a lot of fall off, and there can be that one guy who just who really keeps his car going throughout the run, and I'm excited to see that. I want to see some fuel strategy play a part of it. It looks like they already did start the race, so we're going to join a little late, but we kind of see a bit of the lineup here. So I'll just kind of take a look at that real quick before we get started. And there we go. All right. So let's hop in. Get into the race now. May have missed a lap or two, but we'll be all right. The way that these guys have been racing so far this year, they've been very respectful. So first stage, I don't know really what to expect. First few laps too, because if you think about it, that turn 1, that apron, man, everyone knows the term butter. That thing is butter. It's straight up butter. Um, so let's hope that no one gets too far down. I can see it happening, but it's all right. I'm actually, while we get in here, looks like they are under caution. They may be ready to go green. And they are going green. It looks like the 60 car is taking the lead here. end behind him. Got some nice double file lines going on. Some guys running high in 3 and 4. That's kind of expected at first. You want to see what your car can do. And that 60 is Big Destroyer. Let's see who else we got running through this field today. So we got the 7 car. That's JRM Keffer. Thanks, man, for letting us join along with you. The 22. And let's see who's in the 22 today. That's Diesel. And that looks like the 61, yep, of Buck. The 23 of, let's see here, Jay Hyper running in the back. He's got a lot of time to kind of figure out his car a bit. The 19. 19's being driven by, looks like, is that Noco? I believe so. The 88 From the Back. Let's see if he lives up to that name. The 89 of Spenker, 24. Nice little entry there into one. The 1 car of Pat's Ace. The 35 of K-Mac. 00. We've got here as, let's see, who's the 00? Bulldog. What's up, Bulldog? The 98. 98. Who's in that 98 car? K-Taddy. The 3 of Marcus. How's it going, Marcus? Hope you have a good race tonight, bud. And there we go. Back to the front of the pack here. And it looks like the 60's got a pretty nice line. The 19 it really tried to dive it down in there. Didn't really work out the best for him. But he's still staying right there. You know, the 60 looks like he's trying to be kind of conservative and just get his laps going. The 19, you can tell he's trying to get into the gas real fast out of 2. Right now that's working, but you know, there are 11 laps out of 22 of the first stage, and I wonder what that would do on a long run car. 60 may start feeling a little pressure as he gets up the track a bit. Let's try and take a look at some different camera angles of this track. Nice battles going on in the mid here. The 7, 3 wide. He's got the 22 and the 00 right there. See, these guys, like I said at the beginning, man, they're respectful. They know when to lift. They know what they're doing. And it looks like that 23 J Hyper in the back is starting to pick off a few guys that may be falling off. But up in that lead, that 60 car, you know, he's still got about the same distance between them. I think we're going to see a lot of fast laps coming on. A lot of good side-by-side racing. That's a great exit out of 2. 2 is tough as the 7 gives a little bit of a nudge to the 61. And turns 3 and 4, they're sweeping, man. Those are some sweeping corners. And I feel like you got to be patient to get through them. And if you're entering high, you're going to have a harder time getting off and getting through that front stretch to 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is fun. I feel, you know, you can kind of go just all out if you needed to. As we look back from the 61, look ahead to, they're all trying to run the same line. Looks like that 22 was a little easier getting onto the gas than, let's see what car number is in front of him than the 1. But the 1 stays there. You got the 7 hot on the 22's tail. 22 goes a little hot into the corner, but the 7 dove it down so hard he just hit the apron, as it looks like there's some trouble with the 7, the 3, and the 00. There may be a caution. It was just 1 car spinning, so that's pretty unfortunate for Marcus there, but he knows that there's a lot of race to go. as the 35's looking on the inside of the 98 after a really good run off the corner of 4, and he gets on the inside. I think the 98 really just understood what was going on there. K-Taddy just, and he's trying to work a little crossover here. That might work for him. As the 3 regroups, let's feel out that car, buddy. Let's feel it out. We look back at the lead, there's not that much of a difference. One thing I do see, though, is that 22 is starting to really make moves. I'd like to see where he's able to get to. Diesel is, he's, I wouldn't say an aggressive racer, but he can definitely pick up spots, man. He knows how to work his car. I'd like to see how it goes on the long run. I thought that the 19 would fall off a little bit, but he's staying right there. He's staying right there. I really do feel that the 60 of Big Destroyer is being a little more conservative and running a little bit smoother of a lap. But you can also tell he's not really paying too much attention to his rear view, or else he'd probably be making little mistakes here and there. As we kind of go through, let's see if we can find some battles. 23 has definitely picked up some spots. Jay Hyper's working it now. Looks like he's in it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th place, and he was just dead last there. It's pretty cool to see. Here we go with 2nd place. Let's kind of give it a sec to feel out what he's doing here and how he's sticking with that 60, because it seems like he's being a little different with his laps than the 60. He ran that very smooth. That was a nice turn, a nice 3 and 4 by that 19. And thanks again, guys that are watching. You're gonna have to bear with me tonight. Gonna have a good time. If you got any questions, anything you want me to bring up, you let me know. If anyone's got the pick for a winner, let's post that in the chat. I'll take a look at it. That 22 is really coming up, though. I like to see what he's doing. Let's take a look at this battle here between the 61 and the 23, I believe. 23 is really just picking up spots. He's doing a great job with that. And NRG is going for the 19. He's saying the 19 is going to win it, and I can't deny that. But that 19 is really doing a good job sticking around that 60. As the 61 gets around the 23 again, and the 89's under pressure by the 35, who gets on the inside. And he may bring the 88 with him on that inside line. 89's having a little bit of a problem, almost right up into the wall. It's hard to get back in the gas when you're up there. That turn 2 wall comes up real quick, I feel. You get into the gas just a little bit too soon, and it could ruin a lap or two. As the 88 and the 98 get around him. It's the 88 of From the Back and the 98 of K-Taddy. And it looks like that's the end of stage 1. So they made it. They survived. It looks like there was one caution. When we were joining, they were just finishing up from a caution. I don't think that fuel strategy is going to play a part just yet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. These guys maybe finding a few little things to tweak. I like having my car a little loose here. In 1 and 2, it could be kind of scary, could be hairy, but if you just lift enough and get back in the gas, you kind of drift it through and keep that speed. One thing you don't want to do with a loose car is lift too much. Then you lose all the momentum, all the weight gets shifted to the front. That rear just kind of lifts up and just wants to spin. It's good to keep your momentum. So they're going to green, and we got this 60 car, Big D Destroyer, is on the inside line with the 19 of, shoot, what was it again? Noco, of course, on the outside. A nice launch by the 60 car. The 22, you know, I was mentioning him a lot before. He's moving on up too. Diesel And it looks like we had a car in the wall. Not too sure who that was. The 35. And it looks like it was just him as we have a battle for the lead. The 22 gets on the inside of the 60. First time we're seeing this tonight, and we knew that the 22 Diesel was looking pretty strong. He's got that door open, but I think that Big Destroyer may be able to keep the one from getting a run. Not yet. That was smart. You know, it's hard to tell. You don't have a spotter here. Well, you do in the game, but how reliable can that be? The 22's feeling that that lead for the first time, and the 60's feeling that draft for the first time. Let's see if it upsets his car a little bit, because he was running real well. The 19 was right with him. And speaking of the 19, I think I see him back there in 5th place. But you know, the 60 just may be trying to feel the car out a bit. Let's see how I do behind someone. Let's see if this guy folds under pressure. Try and remember a few things like that for later on in the race. And we saw there the 7 was pretty far back. He may have had that issue with the 35. They're starting to spread out a bit, trying to look at different lines being run. And that 22 is really getting into the gas and able to keep it. But he may be scrubbing speed at the same time, because that 60 was on the inside a little bit, just running a little better. Let's try and take a look from above and see who's got a better entrance and exit. Looked like the 60 would have had a better exit there. He may have tried to play it cool because he knew that he was going to get right on the bumper. Entering the 60 kind of slowed quick and then got back on the gas a little faster, but it's tough to do when that other car in front of you is right there. You don't want to plow through him, and you want to be able to keep your momentum through that line, and he did that, because look at him now. They're almost nose to nose going into one. It's good to have that bottom line, but it's scary at the same time, as you see there. He maybe got a little too close to the apron, and the 22 kind of pressured him down, but I think that was still pretty good. It looks like there's caution on the field. They've got 14 laps to go in this second stage. Let's see if we can kind of find a slow driver out there. Looks like the 88 may have been a part of it. So middle of the stage, who's going to pit? Who's not going to pit? Is this something that you learn for later on? What are 2 tires going to do at Kentucky? What are 4? What is staying out going to do? And I feel like there's a lot of fall off. I had a league race here a year ago with these cars, and I think I pitted earlier. I took 2 tires, and I had a sizable lead over the guy behind me. But you know, the 4 tires really held off for him. And I had a hard time with the 2 tires or the early pit. So I think 4 tires are going to play a huge role. As it looks like the 22 and the 60 keep that front row together. The double zero is taking advantage of the inside line. As he's going for second, he clears the 60, moves on the inside. He wants to go for that lead. How are they going to make it through here? I figured he'd drift up a bit, running in that hard. The 60 really had to check up. This is going to hurt him. At 23, Jay Hyper, he's taking full advantage of it as he's going for second place. Battles like this is what the 22 wants to see. Diesel needs to see that. Well, he doesn't need to, but he likes it. It gives him a little breathing room, and it helps him just kind of feel his car out. Doesn't have to try and drive defensively, and you know, driving a different line than someone else to see how it's going. But one thing I can tell is that 60 car really got hurt. You see him back there towards the very back, and it's still early on. It is a short race. If you think about it, we're lap 12 and 19 in this second stage. So you don't have too much time to make your way up, but he's going to have to be really patient with getting around these guys before it gets a little too tough as the 61 goes 3 wide between, I believe, the 19 and, and he's spinning. It's so tough once you're being eaten up like that. It's so hard to be able to keep your cool, and you got these guys running around you. Those of you who race know that when you lose that momentum and you have to start driving in the front, you know, like looking out the front of the car, looking in the mirror, making sure you're not doing anything, and it can be real tough. And he did a good job. 61 did a great job getting through there. It looks like there isn't a caution out for that, so they're still running. The 22's got a sizable lead over the 23, but the 00 and the 7 are right there. It's nice to see the 7 JRM, Jason, taking 4th spot. Seeing him in clean air early on in the race when I was watching, he was kind of stuck towards the back. And that's the position that the 60 of Big Destroyer's in right now, and track position is going to mean a lot here. 22 makes nice around the 3 and 4 turns, gets a little high off 4. The 7 gets a great run on the bottom, gets by the 23. And that's the difficulty with 3 and 4, is you can easily overrun it and go straight up towards that wall. You know, either you let off too late or you get into the gas too early. There's a very fine line to when you can get on the gas and off the gas. And as I'm thinking about that, and these guys are a little spread out, let's turn them up. You know, let's see what's going on with these motors here. Let's see if anyone can hear any differences between gas and you know, with the RPMs when they're getting in the gas, when they're letting off the gas between, let's go with the 23 for now and run a lap with them. All right, so that was pretty good. You know, the 23 J Hyper, the RPMs don't really change much in 1 and 2, and again, that kind of goes back to what I thought about keeping that momentum through that corner. It's very slick, it's flat, and you want to be loose, not too loose, but if you let off too much, it's gonna be. And then going through 3 and 4, the RPMs really drop. You know, it's really a driver's preference if you want to use the brake or not. And it's tough to call what you want to do. I don't know if there's anyone out there watching that's really familiar with the track that knows exactly how they run 3 and 4, but hey, if you guys want to share what you think would be a good way to run it, you let me know and we'll talk about it. As we get up to this 22, his RPMs aren't dropping as much as that 23 through 3 and 4, so he may be just coasting through it, getting on the gas. That's the end of stage 2, 19 out of 19. Good lead by that 22 of Diesel. That was pretty impressive, and we can see that being stuck in the back of the pack is not easy. The 60 car still back there. The 19's able to make his way through, but these guys are just so competitive, and they're so competitive and so good around each other. They're all on the same level where it's hard to do anything because you don't have that one guy that's easy to pass or one guy that's going to move over. Yeah, they'll move over when they know they should, but these guys are so clean, it's great to see. NRG, thanks for giving us a little insight. Say back up 3 a little bit, arch it in, burp it a touch, get to the bottom and send it. I like that. I'm going to try that later, man. That's a good feel to it. I always end up going up the track through 4. I feel like that's fast, but, you know, what do I know? I'm not these guys. But in this game, it's really like the shortest way around is the best, as we see a wreck between the 88, the 89, and the 35. Brings out, I believe, our third caution of the night, besides the stages, the stage finishes. NRG saying or full throttle no matter what. Yeah, man. Hey, I would love to be able to do that. I would love to see some of these guys do that. I feel like that's some Tokyo Drift stuff. But these guys know how to run this track. We'll see who really practiced for it or not. As a few cars are hitting pit road. See how the lineup folds out. Having cautions in the middle of stages like this is fun for viewers to see. You never know if strategy is going to play a part. And we saw the 98 on pit road. It looks like they may have been having technical difficulties. Let's ride along with the 60 here, see what he can do. We see the 7 in second place. Haven't seen that yet tonight. The 22, nice run off the bottom. And when you're starting or in a restart and you're on that bottom line, you have to remember that you have to drive it completely different than you would if you were full throttle with momentum on your side after a few laps. Because you could turn down too much on that start or restart and hit that apron. And again, you do not want to hit that apron as the 00 is going on the inside of this 22. Is the 22 going to get a little bit of... Oh, the 00 tried to really send it as the 60 gets down on the apron like I was talking about. He keeps it in a straight line, but look at the price you pay when that happens. I don't blame him for trying it because he saw that 00 drifting up the track. He really wanted to keep it down there and hope that he could pick up 2 spots, get back to that lead. He's not done yet though, folks. He's going to get moving. And that 00 Bulldog is still right there on the inside of the 22. 22's playing real nice. 00's moving around. That 7 of JRM is being patient. He wants to stay on that inside line. He knows that 00 is a little tight. He may be able to make it 3 wide. The 22 doesn't want to see that. But Diesel's being very, very good on that outside line. It's tough to be out there, and he's doing a great job. He's keeping his momentum rolling for sure. RJ Smitty, oh man, RJ, I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see your name. He's saying let out early, get back in a little sooner. Tires are a huge deal. Bro, I agree with you completely. Tires are going to be a huge deal. I'd love to see a little mix-up. Love to see 4 tires chase after 2. As we're 3 wide a bit. Could have been 4. Look at how these guys are being so close and able to know when to lift, like that 19. The 7 drifts up, the 1 takes advantage of it. Where did Pat's ace come from? That was insane. Although the 7 may have been a little boggled up out of 1 and 2, he really regained his train of thought through 3 and 4. Sometimes you have a bad corner and you got people passing you, and that can screw up the next corner. I got to give JRM a ton of props there. He was able to keep that spot. That's really tough to do when you're under pressure like that. He got back in his rhythm extremely quick. I know for some drivers it could take a few laps, as we see the 00 just trying to move the 23 of J Hyper a little bit. Now this restart, haven't really seen the 22 get away like he did before. Pat's ace and JRM, they're right there. I've raced with Pat's ace a lot online, and I know that he's got that consistency that you need. He's got the smarts to know what he needs to do as the 22 enters and through the middle, a little higher than the 1, but has a nice exit. And, you know, that entrance and exit really even it out. The 7 may be falling back a little bit as he's back under pressure by that 00. The 23 wants to take that advantage. The 7 did not see that he was moving in that quick, but they're able to clean it up. You know, he wasn't trying to, I can tell he wasn't trying to push him down there. He moved a bit, got out of the way, everyone's good. And finally we see the 60 coming back at it again. I'd love to see what Big Destroyer can do to get back up there. That lead is really coming to a nice little battle. The top 2 have moved away from 00. It looks like Pat's Ace is trying to get the car in there, but the 22 is really smooth around all 4 corners here. It's tough to pass here. You kind of have to make time to let someone else have a mistake. You want to pressure them a little bit, but you don't want to overdrive your car and have a mistake yourself. As we go back to the 61, that 61 a buck, he's getting a little run by the 89, some pressure there of Spanker. As we go back to the 23, who's in 4th position, he's got some nice breathing room here. I think he can kind of feel his car out, because that 00 wants to go, he wants to go, and then that 7 is under attack by the 60. That 7 of JRM has a really good short run car. I was really happy to see him stick where he was, and when he was under pressure, keep his composure. But Big Destroyer really wants to get moving. I think Big Destroyer understands that I gotta make moves. Yeah, he knows that track position means a lot. As the 60 gets around on the outside of the 7. I think that the 7 let him do that. He saw that the other 2 cars, they're battling a bit. He has some room, but the 7 is drifting up the track through 3 and 4. That's going to be a little tough. Big Destroyer really wants to see J Hyper get larger and larger through that front windshield. But as we all know, man, as you start moving up, it gets harder and harder to pass. You're getting up to guys that are running a faster pace, guys that are going to be more defensive. You really have to pick and choose when you're going to make moves, how you're going to make moves. You have to think about consequences too, right? You have to think about if I really try and send it in there, do I feel confident with it? Is he going to give me room? Am I going to stick? A time like this right now, though, for Big Destroyer is a good time to experiment. Maybe running it in harder or getting on the gas sooner. Because he's got a lot of distance from JRM, and JRM could be doing the same thing. It looks like the 1 car of Pat's Ace goes up the track a bit, and that 00 just gets by him. Pat's Ace wants to keep his momentum going because that 23 of J Hyper is right there. The 19 of Noko was real strong in the beginning. I'm not sure if he made any adjustments that hurt his car, because right now it's he's not making many moves. You know, there are times when you're in a race and you start fiddling around with your setup. It made it worse, and you just hit that triangle button. You go back to that default. Feels a lot better. He may have that good default setup that you need, but he is putting a lot of pressure on that 35 of K-Mac. Justin Mods, thanks for joining, man. Thank you all for who you guys that are watching. Really appreciate it. These guys do too. We've got some great racing going on. It looks like we're on lap 67 of 100 in this Xfinity race for Midnight Broadcasting Network. They're MBN, and this is the Burst Motorsports Series here. burst tires. You're in North Carolina. You need some tires for your go-kart. There you go. And this race is the Speedway Collective, and they're a great site. You guys should check it out. If you want to be part of a fantasy NASCAR league, or if you want to just get some news updates, they've got it all right there. Really cool. Good guys for doing this. Think about some other folks too. Pocono Raceway is an affiliate. I love Pocono. I think they're going there this week. Not this coming weekend, but the next weekend. Or it's happening soon. But I love Pocono. I live close, about an hour, 10 minutes away with me driving. And love going to that track. We also have Ronin Imports if you guys are into Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans. You like the rare ones. Cool place to look. Got some drivers too. Travis Braden, Tanner Berryhill. They're affiliates as well with the series. Thanks for being a part of it, guys. Now look at what we have here. That 60 was picking him up, man. He was picking him up, putting him down. And he's right with that 22 now. These two have definitely been the top of the field so far. I don't think the 60 is going to be as conservative as he was before and patient. When he fell to the back, it's all because he kind of missed the entry of a corner. Someone got it on the inside, and he gave him a lot of room. The unfortunate thing is that ton of room that he gave him cost him a lot of spots. The 60's getting around the 22 for the lead. He went up a little too early, thought he was clear. The 22's playing nice. We'll see if something like that happens later on, being that nice. Another thing let's see is, does this 60 pull away from that 22? Is there strategy being played right now? They're in the final stage, Justin, and they're on lap 72 of 100, I believe. Let's see if I can get this quality a little better. Thank you, JRM, for streaming your in-car view so we can see this lap count. Really appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome. And hey, if you guys have anything you want to mention, any kind of strategy ideas that you have for these drivers, you let me know. We'll talk about it, get each other's opinions. And speaking of, it looks like the 61 is hitting pit road, and he's being followed by the 3. And it looks like that's it for right now. Maybe some early pitters. Because we'll have about 25 laps to go as they come by, 25, 26, around there. And yeah, that could be true, Justin. I'm not going to mention that just in case any of the other drivers are watching right now. Can't give it away as we see the 00 go around the 23. That 00 has made some really good moves, I gotta say. Bulldog is making moves on Jay Hyper. Jay Hyper knows that we gotta pit. For myself, I don't like to hit pit road when I'm in front of someone, so you never know if that 23 of Jay Hyper is just thinking, I'm gonna pit soon, I don't want to be in front of him and check up and him mess up my day. I feel more comfortable being behind someone in that kind of situation. As the 19 is down pit road, the 89, the 98, a lot of these guys are going through the pits. I'd love to see where everything kind of matches out. Thanks, Miller. Appreciate it. But it looks like the 22 and the 60, these second and first place, these cars are sticking on track. They're going to run it as much as they can. Maybe the 22's waiting on the 60 to pit so that they kind of stay on the same strategy, see who's got a better lap in or pit out. And this 22 is slowing down a lot here at this car as they're both hitting pit road. Really nice job by that 22 getting onto the pits. Let's see what we get here. Thanks, Milla. anyone think that these guys have run a few races, mock races? I like to do that, run mock races, try different setups, or not even just setups, pit strategies, to see if the 2 tires are going to work, to see if the 4 tires are going to work. We're going to see the guys that are doing that, they're going to be the ones at the top of the field. But I think, oh, the 61, right as I get to him, he hits the wall. It looked like maybe that was a glitch because the 89 is still right there. That was crazy to watch. Holy cow. But let's get back to those leaders. Wow, look at the gap now between the 60 and the 22. That's a huge gap. That's about 4 or 5 seconds of a gap. That could be 2 tires versus 4. And it looks like we're about to hit, I think that's lap 79 out of 100, so we're going to have about 20 laps to go. Yeah, right? Didn't he take a flight? I swear that had to have been, oh, is the 61 is still having some issues. Everyone checks up for him. Keeps it clean on the racetrack. 22 doesn't want to see it being clean. 22 wants a caution for sure. He just had the 60 right with him. And after the pit stops, it's the other way around. And look at Pat's ace in that 1 car. He's moving, you know. That could have been a really smart move by him. But yeah, Justin, I agree. 2 tires here. No, I feel like the fall off, especially if it goes green, like you said, the fall off is so much over a period of time where that they can make up that 5 seconds. Let's try and take a look. Let's get back to the leader. I love how you have to go through like all these cars, by the way, and not know what's going on. He's actually picking up. Let's see as he crosses against this white right here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 4 seconds between him, second and third. So Justin is using past races to kind of gauge what happens, which is smart. You know, you use those experiences to kind of gauge what you need to do. Truck series. He's like, we saw what happened with 2 tires. ... Think we have an idea about that. And if he did in fact take 2 tires, then that could be a little bit of trouble. But this 60 is still wound up. Again, there's about 18 laps to go. It could fall off real soon, and when it starts falling off, it could be a big difference. Let's take a listen to this 60 car for a sec as just mute my mic. Everyone turn up that volume, and let's see how he sounds going around this track with these tires. So let's see his turn 3 and 4 again, what the 22 sounds like. Yeah, the 22, he's not as smooth as the 60, but he's definitely picking up time now. Listening, I don't know if all you other guys were listening in on the motors as well, but that 60, the RPMs didn't change too much going in through 3 and 4. Maybe he was lifting a little early and kind of being on eggshells with getting through it. The 22 can definitely be more aggressive, and you can see that he is being more aggressive with that turn. He's got the confidence of fresh tires with him. I don't think that 60 does. I'm not 100% on that, but seeing how he got off pit road a lot better with that big gap, and now he's kind of getting eaten up, I think that kind of explains it. Yeah, Justin, you say he's full send at this point. He's made his bed. Yeah. That 60, he's got to go for it. Sometimes you overthink things, right? So that 60 car, if he did take 2 tires, he could think, all right, let me kind of play with it a little bit, like be easy on it, get through the race. You know, you have a better car for a longer period of time. Not the best, but a better average as the 22 gets into the wall a tiny bit off too. Or you think, just like that, hey, I made my bet. I'm going all out until this car falls apart. That's kind of the mentality I'd want to have. I don't want to give up time at all unless I have to give up time. I think that's what he's doing, and he's doing a great job with it. This 22 may be trying a little hard to get there, but we'll see. It does look like the 60 is coming up on the 88. Let's see if he catches him at a good point. While we wait for him, it looks like the 61 is on pit road again. Hopefully he didn't back out. As we see the 19 on the outside of that 89. Nice move on the outside. Can he get in the gas and keep it off the wall? He does, but that 89 on that bottom side just keeps that shorter distance for now, and he's clear. There we go. That's just what we wanted to see out of that 19. Noko was running, I believe, like second in the first stage, and he had a little mishaps, and falling back here is not easy to come back from. 60 is showing it right now, though, because, you know, he's still in that lead. The 88's got the 60 coming through his rear view mirror as we watch that 60 kind of go up the track. I don't know if that was by design of his own or if that's just what his car can do right now as he sends it down into 3. That was a beautiful entrance. As he drifts up the track a tiny bit, gets to the gas, and he's still keeping that same pace. This 60 car has some great speed. The 88 knows that's the leader. That's nice to see that he moved over, said, hey, I don't want to screw up your day. I don't want to make you an enemy. I'm going to let you go. Justin, if there was 15 laps to go, I would have done 2 and see what happens. But there was too many left. Yeah, I agree. I think there was too many left because we're about 10 to go right now, maybe 9 as they cross. But he does have a big gap now with 9. Let's see. Let's find a marker on the wall and count the seconds between first and second. So let's see when this white spot hits right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, just about 4 seconds between first and second. And to make up 4 seconds with about 8 to go, I believe, you know, that would be half a second a lap, and I just don't see it happening. I think that 60 just may have done a better job getting off pit road. If he really was on 2 tires, I would be amazed because this guy is running very well with those 2 tires. And again, maybe he was practicing. Maybe he practiced with 2 tires. What do I need to do to this car to make it good on these 2 tires? There's so many different ways that you can set up a car. And it can work for some, it can work for the others. You can be in completely opposite directions with a few things and still have the same exact car. but it's really kind of comes down to who can make their car last the longest. Myself, I like to have a more stable car. If I'm thinking long term, I need it to be stable. Let others make mistakes. Hope that my car holds strong throughout the race. You can have a fast qualifying car, right? You can have a fast qualifying car that'll hit the fastest lap, but for the other laps, you're spinning out. You know, like, you don't want that. You want to have something that's fast and strong, and it looks like the 60's got that here. The 60's been very smooth too, and you can hear it in the motor. He's not at that RPM like he was before. Um, it's he's having to let out a little more. I'm sure everyone else is. They're all on old tires, but we'll see. NRG, if he did take two, maybe he saved those a little bit and came back out. Yeah, we're gonna find out. He's definitely gonna be in the booth unless something happens. We don't want to see that, but you know, see him not make it to the booth with the kind of car he's been having tonight. But we're about to find out. He's been very smooth. I haven't seen him or heard him kind of jolt the car, you know, maybe get into the, like, if he's braking, get into it too much, or kind of wiggle up the track. This dude is on a rail right now, and look at that gap now. Like, that's huge. The 22 did get around that 88, but he's got nothing for him now. Now, it's a possibility, too, that both these drivers took two tires or took four tires and maybe took you know, 2 cans of gas, 1.5 cans. I'm not too sure on what the fuel mileage is like, but we'll see. Definitely got some questions for these guys. So JRM is passing that start-finish line for the one to go. Let's see if I can get back to that 60. And I think he already passed it, or he's coming to it for the win. And there we go. The 60 of Big Destroyer definitely destroyed the field tonight, guys. Wow, what a race for him. He was definitely in a class of his own. Congratulations, Big Destroyer, man, on that wonderful win. As the 22, who had a strong car in that second stage, may have made some changes to fall out a little bit. But Diesel, heck of a job as well. Let's see if I can kind of get the top 3. Bulldog was third in 00. And let's get through the track, or the field. Don't exit out just yet. Fourth was Hyper, and fifth was JRM. Pat's ace in 6th, Noco 7th, Spanker 8th. 9th goes to Marcus, K-Mac 10th from the back, 11th. 12th was, let me get back to it, Buck, and 13th was K-Taddy. Those 12th and 13th place cars unfortunately fell out of the race. Sorry for that, guys. That's very unfortunate, but great job by Big Destroyer there. Let's try and get him in here. So apologies for the blue screen. I hope you guys had a great time watching that. Short race, you know, it's like you want to see a lot more. And you want to see guys battling, but he definitely had a car that was in its own field. Alright, so let's try and invite him in here. Let's go for that 22 with Diesel. Alright, and he's getting in here. Hey, Big Destroyer, man. What a win. How do you feel? Well, it's good to see you in victory lane. You've definitely been working your way up there. You've been a part of the talk a lot, man. I'm saying your name all the time, and that's really, really nice. You led that first stage real well. Uh, then I saw you be a little conservative, a little nice, and you let someone get on the inside of you. You fell back, and it was kind of hard to watch people in the back try to make their way up. How did you feel when you got back there?
Clean air. But I just had to be like slow, methodical, and I just couldn't push the issue because that track's so finicky and line sensitive. So I just had to be real careful and real smooth.
Yeah, and it's funny too that you mentioned that because there was some times where I would go quiet just so that we can all hear your car and listen to the other cars around you too. And you were definitely very methodical. The RPMs didn't change a lot. It looked like you were trying to run smooth, fast lines, and I think it paid off with that really impressive win. You were in the back, you picked them off one by one, and you pulled the lead away. That last pit stop, were you guys on the same strategy? Because when you exited, there was a huge difference.
Yeah, me and Diesel came in at the same time, and I had an insanely fast pit stop of a 13.9. I think Diesel had a 14.9, so I had a crazy pit stop from them. So it just didn't work out. It just the pit stops didn't work, and then he was gaining me for a little bit, but I was able to just hunker down and pull away. It was really good. But also before I get out of here, I want to thank Diesel. He helped me out with the setup a lot, and we worked really well. And he definitely should have gotten all the points tonight, but it feels really good to be in victory lane.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you in victory lane and really impressive run. We thought you got two tires, or I did at first, but then seeing the gap not close, I figured you guys were on the same strategy a little bit. But great run, man. I'm happy you got that win, and you go enjoy yourself. All right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man, you got it. So Diesel, you had a crazy good
Well, first
car.
of all, it ain't Diesel. Diesel's declining his interview because he's sick, coughing.
Oh no,
It's Bulldog.
oh, Bulldog. All right, what's up, man? I'm sorry, Diesel, but good job. Uh, Bulldog, man, that was that was a really good run, man. I don't know what you had in you, but that double zero was strong as heck, and you were making moves really well. How did you get that third place finish with what you had?
Well, man, I had a really fast car. It's one of my favorite tracks, my home track, man. I spent a lot of time here, and I just love the overall track. And I did give a couple times I shot guys in the bumper a little bit, but I mean that's sometimes what you got to do to get by somebody around here. And I ended up a third place finish. Wish we'd had just a little better stop, and thanked everybody at Ford and SHR tonight. I posted on Twitter before this race, and Kentucky, Kentucky's the last race I ever went to with my dad, so I was kind of running this one to honor him tonight. So I'm glad I could get a top three.
Well, I gotta say, man, your dad would be very proud of you. Your aggression was just right. You know, like you said, you had to push the subject a few times, and I saw that, and I thought that it was perfectly executed the way that you moved around the track. You have to do that. Look at Ricky. I say this all the time, man. How do you think Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is getting the finishes? He's got to be aggressive sometimes, and you're doing it in the right way. You're a smart driver, and I thought that was a really good race by you. You were up and down, and you were able to have the car for a third place finish. Really good job, man.
Well, thank you, man. Just again, thank everybody at SHR, Smoke Fan. Fluffy helped me out some, and Galen also the Cup guy over at SHR, and just everybody. And thank you, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Enjoy your night. Well,
I will, man. You too.
so all you viewers who are still watching, man, I kind of got goosebumps. One consistency that we heard from the two guys tonight was that they're thanking their other drivers. You know, these guys help each other out, and that camaraderie means a lot. And to see that you work together, you get fast, you have fun, you have a good time, you get yourself faster, you help your others get faster, and I think that's a huge part of it. And thank you everyone for chatting with me too. I was by myself, but you guys definitely made it a lot easier for myself. Um, I really hope that you guys have a great night. I hope this gets you pumped up. I hope you all want to go race some Kentucky right now. It's too bad that seemed like a short race, but again, congrats to Big Destroyer on that win. Sorry, Diesel, that you're not feeling too well to get an interview because I really wanted to talk about that great car you had. But all right, on that rant, I'm gonna end it. Thanks again for everyone who watched this Midnight Broadcasting Network's Speedway Collective 300 at Kentucky Speedway. Have a good night, and I will see you on the track. Take care, everyone.